Breathe through your mouth, exit through your nose. How does it work? I have no idea. I have a feeling if I had to think about breathing, I'd be suffocated by now. I'd be dead by now. So, today's talk this morning, before I've had my second cup of coffee even, is about being me and how difficult it is being me. I have too many pens. That's not the difficult part. I can't remember where I put them. Now, I had the delightful job of being a tour guide in my own house the other day. The pen show, Mike Daigle and Scott Brown were visiting the Boston Pen Show, and I could tell by Mike's posts that he understood pens in much the same way I understand them, meaning a pen is a tool you use to write with or draw with. Essentially, it's about the nib. It's about how they write. Yes, it's about how they look and all other nonsense, but it's really a tool that you use as an artist or a writer or a calligrapher. So anyway, there were some pens that I wanted to show them. Specific pens, the Waterman Stanhope pen, this a pen that had a certain nib on it, a pen that had a certain engraving on it, a weird clip design that no one's ever seen before, all of this kind of stuff. So where are they in my house? So let's imagine I wanted to find a pen. Here's a pencil, here's my imaginary pen. Where could this be? It could be in any number of, like, these many places. It could be on my desk, on my drawing desk, I mean. I generally know which pens are here because of the ones that I'm using, and they're often ones that are on my desk because I can't put them in my pocket and carry them around with me. They might be missing a clip, or maybe they're a desk pen that I use at my desk for doing calligraphy. All my Franken pens are on my desk, for example. They could be in a drawer. That's just how my day is working, in a drawer. With brethren, or sister brethren, brothers or sisters, with their fraternity or sorority, by company. They could be in another drawer where I show my collection. I have a little case of drawers that has 13, I think, drawers in it, and each one of them is a microcosm of my collection. And if it's in that case, it could be in any number of places. It could be in with my drawer that has engravings on it. It could be in my drawer that has sterling on it. It could be in my drawer that has sets. All of these are subgroups of my collection. It could be in my drawer that has demonstrators. So it could be anywhere here. It could be on my desk, in my drawer with its brethrens, in my collection drawer. It could be in a box. It could be in a cabinet with sets. And the boxes are in a different place. It could be in a repair area. Let's say I buy a pen at a pen show or on eBay and I don't have time to fix it. I'll just put it in a drawer or in a jar or in a wherever to repair it later. And it could be in a drawer, meaning it's going to be restocking drawer. Could be by my couch, which is where I sort of hang out with pens I'm using, and they stay there sometimes. So let's say I wanted to show Mike a pen 2 nights ago. I can go to any one of these places. And there's probably one or two other spots that I can't remember. And then I think when I can't find them, when I go through like this many places and I can't find it, I think I've lost it. I never think that things were stolen, though I think that has happened a couple of times by a couple of. I think a few have gone missing and were taken by guests. I shouldn't say that. I sometimes give parties, and sometimes people bring people that I've never seen before and never have seen since. And I know that it wasn't a pen, it was something else that, if you have to know, it was nipple clamps. Okay, let that sink in. Nipple clamps. And it wasn't nipple clamps that I owned. Oh, yes. I could hear you saying, oh, sure, Pierre. No, it was friends of mine that they make jewelry, and they were in Provincetown and saw these very beautifully designed sort of Bauhausian sterling silver nipple clamps that they thought were fetching, and they brought them to a party I was at to show me and show a couple of other of my friends at how interesting they designed they were. And they went missing, and it was discovered who took them, and it was a man who was barely hanging in his clothing. Little bits and pieces were falling out, and if anyone needed nipple clamps or rope and straps to hold them together, it was that guy. Anyway, he took them, and we confronted him later, and he gave them back. But there might have been someone that took a pen, so I can't find it. But it can be in any one of these places, and the point is, I don't know where they necessarily are in these places, so I spend a lot of time looking. So ODD is obsessive disorder. It seems like I need things in flux. I need to have things always on shaky ground. I need to have my life in this particular state of confusion, and which is fine. I normally can survive perfectly fine with this. It might just take a little longer to remember where a particular pen is. And it's normally just my pens that get in this way. I know where my milk is. It's either in my refrigerator or at the grocery store. It's in one of those two places. So anyway, at the pen show, getting back to reality here, the pen show was interesting. I ended up buying 6 And I don't even know if these are some of the 6 or not. I think some of these are the 6, but that's a pencil. I didn't buy that. I had that, but I bought a number of these. I bought 6. I do know the number. I bought 6 sterling overlay or silver fill, in one case, silver fill overlay Wahl Eversharp pens, and from one dealer, a friend of mine, and I'm very happy with them. And I thought of the 6 that I bought, I would probably have 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 duplicates, and I could sell the shittier of the 3 to at the next pen show. Now, when I say shitty, I mean often I mean the one that's in the most beautiful condition, because I do like pens that have engravings on them. And if this pen had an engraved name on it or initials, I would more likely keep that one and sell this one. And look at this, I've got 2 of them. Both of them. This is the only duplicate I found, by the way. The only duplicate of all. I went to all of my various locations, and this is the only one that I think have that there were 2 that were in fact alike and meant to be alike, and I can see right now that they're not. So I don't have duplicates. See, this one has this little ridge on the clip. This one has a straight clip. This one says Wahl up here because it can't say it here. This one says Wahl where it normally is found here. So I don't have duplicates. But in the silver, I may have duplicates in the gold. And I just thought I would sit down here and try to match things up and try to see things the way I should see them. This is a pen that I don't know who I could sell this to. I could sell it to someone that needed a cap, because the cap is the only part of this pen that isn't screwed up. This looks like it was slammed shut in the drawer of the Duesenberg, along with the passenger, William something or other. It's missing its lever. It's all bent up. The nib is all screwed up as well. Looks like someone took a pliers to try to yank it out. And so what I use, the section is good. Section I could use on something else. But I do have pens at my desk that I draw with and I do calligraphy with, which I tend to dip in ink rather than fill them up. So I have a set of, I'll just show you. I do have these gold fill Wahls that are missing levers, and I don't have the wherewithal to put the levers together, but I do have them here at my desk. They have nice nibs. This is turned into a Franken pen, the Victorian era dip nib, and you know, someday down the road I'll find a lever and fix it, or sell it to someone to fix it because they want this pattern or whatever it is. But you know, these pens that no one would want normally because they're not functional in the normal way of pens functioning, they are at my desk. So I'm happy to add this one, which was in a drawer with its brethren, to my collection of pens at my desk. So I'm sort of not counting these pens as part of my, quote, Wahl Eversharp pen collection, because they're not complete. Now I could use nibs in those pens to repair pens over here if I want to, but that will be another day. So one of my thoughts is to, with pens like these, which have, there are so many different types of patterns on their metal. You know, there's a Greek key meander kind of thing. There's something called wave. There's something called, I don't know what it's called, straight lines. There's, Todd Merrill will point out what all these things are officially called. And there's many that I don't have, and there's some that I don't like, believe it or not. How can you not like that pattern when you love the one that was run over by the Duesenberg? There's some that have enamel on here and some that are gold. Oh, shoot, there's another one I forgot. And I have it in my collection, and I know where that is, but it's not added to this pile that I'm going to show you. Is it Per Gustafsson? Do I have to go find it? I do have to find it at some point, but why didn't I? Why didn't I see it when it was in front of me? It's another one that's had trauma to it, and I have it in a drawer that has pens that I specifically put aside in that drawer because they show trauma, and sometimes I like trauma, or rather, the trauma that I see on a pen makes me smile rather than makes me sad. I think of the, I imagine a little story that goes with the pen, with the man that was, climbing, a stuntman on the Harold Lloyd movie set who was pretending to be Harold Lloyd, and he did all his stunts, but anyway, the Fatty Arbuckle stuntman in his padded suit. So he looked like Fatty Arbuckle, but he actually could, walk up a stairway. And I think about, what caused the trauma? What accident? What horrible thing happened to that person to cause that? And it's never the real thing. It's never, the accidents that happen in my house where I have a pen on the floor, it fell off my desk on the floor, and I forgot about it and I step on it. It's never that kind of an accident. It's always a more heroic one where the engine of your Pan Am Clipper explodes and the pen is crashing down toward the Marshall Islands, and the steward brings people over to the lifeboat, and he's saying, no, sir, leave your portmanteau behind. We need you to go. No, I must have my portmanteau. Well, you get the picture. I have this imagination, and I want to add romance and imagination to the pen. And this little dent right here, this little tiny dent that you barely see, that was caused by something astounding. That was running to be first in line to have Rudolph Valentino autograph your album, and you tripped over someone's tailcoat who was genuflecting to Rudolph, and you slammed into the marquee balustrade or something. Clearly, I haven't thought this one through, this little fantasy. Why am I waxing poetic when I've got this many pens? I don't have this many pens. I have this many pens plus that. I have this many pens and pencils plus all of this. It's not just these. It's all of these. And what am I supposed to do? If I want to thin the herd and sell for the next pen show, I'm planning 363 days in advance to have pens that I can sell at a pen show. Pens that will maybe allow me, by selling that pen, allow me to buy another one of these. Now, why would I sell a pen and buy another one just like it, you ask? Well, that's a good question. I have no idea. Well, yes, I do, because I'm a crazy person. CM. Let me just see if I can find that last pen. I think I know where it is. It should be in a particular drawer or two. Be right back. Well, guess what? I couldn't find it, but I did find another set. It's not a set. Is it a set? No. This one says his initials on it. The other one doesn't, but it's the same pattern and the same size. It would be a set if... Okay, I couldn't find the one I was thinking about. Is it in here already? It's one of those, it's looks like it's a brain coral. It has gold and silver both together on this pattern, and it's very, very beat up. And I thought it was in a very, very beat up, slammed in the Duesenberg drawer, and it wasn't. But it has to be somewhere. Now this pen, see, this is another one that has a story to it. It has this very funny looking engraving here that's just very unreadable. It's this weird pattern. And it did used to have a name or initials underneath it, and whoever got the pen from Dad or whatever, they took Dad's name out of here by riveting, pounding little stipple markings and trying to make it look like a curly Q kind of a thing, and then rewriting their name up here. So there's a story there. This Junior decided to kill Daddy and then take his pen, kill him for his pen. Look, I'm trying to use my loop. Like, what? How difficult is it? Here, I'll put some. See, it's supposed to look like this, except I don't need that thing. This is really, really deeply cut, and I cannot tell what the heck was underneath it. T, I see a T. Hold it right side up, maybe that'll help. It's really a bad T something. I have a news story that goes along with this pen. TA, maybe? TT? Maybe it's a different story I have to come up with. November 1923. May to November 1923. So what happened in May and November in 1923? Was that as long as the marriage lasted? Was that the years of service? T something A, it looks like it says. Turn it right side over. See if I can still. T something. Tom, Tom, maybe. It's so hard to read because they did such a good job of obscuring it. So this has a story. I don't know what the story is. What do you think the story is? May to November 1923, something happened. This person worked for a company for those months. This person was married for that length of time. What? A person was on their European grand tour. This person got off on the lifeboat on the Pan Am Clipper and was all by himself, consuming the dead passengers for sustenance, writing down in his logbook what happened. Maybe that's the story. So again, if I had a pen that was just identical to this, that was in perfect shape, not engraved, this is the one I would keep, and I would sell the other one. Because this one has fodder for my vivid imagination. Is that what I have? A vivid imagination? I thought, look at this. Are these the same? I bet not. See, this is all bigger, but it also has another really interesting engraving on it. It has 3 dates, 3 years here, and 2 years up here. So there's 5. It says 1885, 1894, and then down here it has 1905, 1925, and 1930. And I was trying to think what those dates mean. And these all were put on at the same time. And these two were put on at the same time. You know, if you were born in 1902 or whatever, you know, you wouldn't know when you were going to die. So you might, would you make room? I don't know. Why would you write a date and then many years later carve another one? You do that on gravestones. I see gravestones half filled in. But which either means, you know, the person is still living or they're dead and they haven't found the money to pay for the carver to carve it. But it's a mystery. You know, 5 years depicted on this pen. Really, really cool, I think. One thing about this pen series that it's so hard to tell by just looking at them. Even if you put them side by side, sometimes it's hard to tell that this one is a bigger pen than this one, wider, because they're all just so slightly different. The 2, 3, 4, and 5 size pens are almost identical to their neighbors on the list. The quantum leap between 2 and 4 is usually visible from a foot away, but the other ones you really have to take off the cap and screw it on. Like, are these interchangeable? These are interchangeable. So they are the same size, or should be. These are not the same size. They sort of look like they're the same size, but this one, that does not fit. Fits on this one, but it does not fit on this one by a little bit. See, there's another dent. Was this person on the Pan Am Clipper when it was going down too? No, I must have my pen. I must have my pen. Madam, get in the lifeboat, please. No, no. Another lovely engraving here. Anyway, they're just really, really fun to have so many pens that are similar but yet different. I love the story of this pen and the years, and I love the story of this pen and its trauma, whatever the trauma was. But I may need to put these all in one drawer together rather than this with the engraving drawer, because I'm trying to thin out the herd, and my intent to take all of these pens with you and talk about them with you is to pick the ones that I can sell. But already I can see that is going to be a very difficult job. Do these two match? Look, I've got a duplicate. I have an exact duplicate. Or is it? Yes, this is an exact duplicate. Except now I have to decide which pen I would sell. I'm trying to just see if if I find a difference. I can't sell this one, I know that, because this has the weird dates. This one just has initials. J. McC. James McNeil Kistler. Whistler. Why can't it say W? Why can't it say that? The thing is, I might have a pencil to go with this one, because I've got the pencils here and they all got mixed up. So I may have the pencil, which means I have to keep them both. I'll probably keep them both. Effects Technologist joined me on the live stream. My plan, Effects Technologist, was to try to find out if I have any, since I added 6 more pens, Sterling overlay pens, to my wall drawer. I wanted to find out if I had any duplicates, and it turns out I didn't. And I thought, well, I'll just look at all the pens I have in gold fill and Sterling, and right now the only duplicate that I have is here. These are the same size and the same pattern. I have to keep this one. This one I might be able to sell, but it's so goddamn nice, so I might keep it anyway. This is trauma. This is a trauma to. Oh, Billy owned this pen. Billy owned this pen, and there's a little bit of corrosion happening underneath the cap here. At some point, this pen will break apart in twain and just break in half right there, because it's rusting through, or whatever, be corroded through the. You can see what happened to the section here, where the metal was eaten away by the moisture or the ink of the ink or the ink. And sometimes what I do is take out the nib and feed and file down the remaining hard rubber there to make it flush. And other times I'm too lazy to do that. But this cap is waiting to be broken in half. Now somewhere here, unless I have to find it, I have a cap with a homemade repair. That I will show you. I must have more of these kicking around somewhere, because there's already 2 that have gone missing that I can't find, that I know I have. Well, disorganization is when you are unable to function, which is right where I am right now. I know that I have things and I can't find them. It makes me think I lost them for good, and I always end up finding them later. Is this a duplicate? No. See, this has a big clip and a little clip. You know, one's a bigger pen and a little pen. Are these duplicates? Look, this might be a duplicate. No, but it isn't. I can tell right now that it isn't. They're the same size, but this one has these little lines at the top and the bottom of the patterning, and the patterning goes almost to the end, which oh, see, now I've got three of a kind now that I look at them. Are these the same? Are these all the same? See, no, this isn't. God damn it. These are bigger. I'm getting car sick just looking, trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing here. Are these the same size or not? There's 4 pens. They both screw. See, this doesn't fit on. So even if the cap screws on and the backs won't. See, the back, this does not fit on the back. Well, it does, but this does not fit on the back of the other one. This does not fit. So these are 2 different sized pens. And yet, how would you know that? Todd Merrill, explain it to me. Out of sheer boredom, you're buying that? Hello, Schiavello. It's nice seeing you. I'm sorry you didn't make it to Boston. Okay, I'm going to try to find that other pen. Now I'm looking for 2 pens, and I know what drawer they're supposed to be in. And why can't I find them? See, look at this, that Duesenberg door right there. When, this must have been even more traumatic than that. This was in Mr. Borden's jacket pocket when Lizzie was running around with her hatchet, and it would have been 42 hatchet marks on the dad's head if she didn't miss and hit this one. So thank God for the rhymers, the poets of the world. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, gave her father 42. So how would you when gave her mother 41, when she saw what she did do, gave her father 42. There, perfect. LS. That's not Lizzie Borden's initials or her father's initials. Now, was her mother was the stepmother, her father was her father, if I remember correctly. So let me see if I can find that other pen now that I know that I can't see it. I don't see it here. See, here's another trauma to be right here. It's all bubbling up underneath. If I twist this a little bit too hard, or not even hard at all, it will probably just break in twain. Okay, let me see if I can find that other pen again. Well, I found half of it. I found another complete pen. That's a wall. And I found the cap that someone did a repair on by putting this big gold band over it. There's one of these on eBay now where they have a pen and pencil set in the box and someone did this to the pen and the seller isn't mentioning the trauma at all. So now this one, I could only find the cap. So somewhere I must have a barrel for it, or, you know, anyway, it's a cap. See, it's starting to happen again here. God damn you, Wall Eversharp, why did you do that? I'm starting to get very, not depressed, but overwhelmed at what I'm doing here, because I honestly don't know the point of, I know my intent was to like find 2 or 3 duplicates in these so that I can reduce some of my stock. Here's another one missing its lever. So I could leave that up here at my desk. Maybe I'll do that. Just gonna leave that there. The ones that I'm leaving here are, I'm calling, you know, pens that only Pure could love. Or something, I don't know, pens that I'll use. So I'll swap out good drawing nibs to put on those, or calligraphy nibs to put on those, so I can, they'll have a double reason for being here. But I'll never come over here to try to find a pen to sell, because all of them have a problem. But not all of them, but the Wall Eversharp pens anyway do. Well, I was trying, the small increments was what I was trying to do. I was trying to take one company, one type of pen, in this case, metal overlay Wall Eversharps, and do that with these pens. And I'm already finding that I have a hard time doing it. But what I'll do is, I think I'm going to end up putting all of these, because these are so difficult for me to recognize the size differences of, and maybe some pattern differences or subtleties in their clips or whatever. I think I'm going to end up putting all of these in one drawer rather than having them be locatable in so many other spots. I think that'll help me when I, you know, I'll remember that one of these is that one with the monogram on it that I like. But see, you know, it'll take me a while to find that one because I've got 3 others that are almost identical to it. So this is that early rollerball wall clip, and that's the only one of these I have that has that clip. CBJ, look, this has a nice date down here, January 4, 1923. Something happened then. It might have been a wedding present for Mr. George Bernard Jaw. Oh, yeah. Well, I do separate. Um, I have lots of pens that I normally. The majority of all of my pens are in a drawer full of 51s in blue. There's a drawer of those. 51s in brown. There's a drawer of those. But every once in a while, I'll have a really cool engraving which shows the engraver's art or an interesting story, and I end up putting that in a drawer that's just meant for those things. WMS Providence or Proverbs 27.9. See, here's some. This might have been a confirmation first communion gift or something to WMS Wilhelmina M something. Proverbs. So, this, if this was not in the drawer with monograms, and it probably wasn't, but the monogram, it's really a fun little story that this pen tells. And if it's in my drawer of just walls, I'll forget about it. Maybe I'll just have a section of the drawer that has pens that have engravings on it. So the other thing I need to do is match up the pencil with the pen, which this is the same pattern, but the gold is slightly different in color. What is this one all about? Another engraving. W.H. Philo, Fillo. Where does this go? Right there. Oh, see, this is one of those patterns that I generally, this is that pattern. This is a pattern called the console, I think, or the wedding bell pattern or something. It has this hand engraved business that's fancier than I normally like on these pens, and it has a mottled section. It's not black, it's red and black mottled, which is correct for this, the only pattern that had that. So this is called console or wedding bell. I didn't realize I had one of these. Well, I have one. Okay, there's a couple more pens. Oh, this is the pen I was looking. No, yes. This is the pen I was looking for, but I thought it was a different pattern. So there's a pattern that has snaily, brainy stuff going on, and I thought this is yet a different pattern. Oh, God, I'm getting car sick again. I owned one of those other patterns once. I think I might have a pencil here, but I don't own it now. Only one of them did. Only this pattern, I think, had that. Now, Todd Merrill, you can ask him, and he will know better. During the pen show, he was coming up with me and showing me a catalog he has earmarked that has all of the different patterns on it. I describe these pens, these Wahl Eversharp pens, metal pens, as being sort of like Gary Cooper, masculine. Gary Cooper in a tailcoat, masculine but slightly showy. When you get when you get a pattern that's a little bit more like this, it's more like Cary Grant in a jumpsuit, in his casual sweater and jeans, which I can't really imagine him doing that. Oh, this has a Waterman yellow nib in it, which is how I bought it on eBay. So I'm keeping it there. A. Tressner. The cap does not screw on. The threads are gone in one or the other of the pens. No, that's not the same size. Just see if I... No. Damn it. No. Too big, too small, which means it must be a 3. If it's too big and too small, it must be a 3. Okay, it is this size, but it's the threads in the barrel that are screwed up. So, too bad. 2 more. One more. Cute. I heart this little pen. There's one that it's on eBay. Maybe I should just buy it. It's this size, but it has a clip. I wonder if it's still online. I would like to buy that. It's really, really sweet. And I don't have one. And I don't think I've ever seen one. So maybe I should buy one of those with my Fez money. Okay, I'm going to put the pencils away. I know that some of these do belong, but I'm just going to put them away for the moment. Put it away. So here are the pens. Put the pencil away. Okay, how many pens do I need? Now they're all mixed up. Yeah. My Fez money. It's really darling. It's this size, but it has a clip. A Waterman, a Wall Zero, I think, nib. Probably sold. It was a lot of money, but again, it's weird. Well, I've got my work cut out for me to try to see, first of all, whether there's any two that are alike, other than that one pair that already is too mixed up to find. And match them up with the pencils, and then put them in a drawer all by themselves. Don't put them back in a box like this. This, held a pen and pencil set. And I took all of them out of these boxes so I could see if there are any duplicates. And I'm not going to put them back in the box until later today. No, until later. Until maybe never. No, I just, the main part is I'm trying to find out if I have duplicates. This is all based on finding duplicates. And if I don't have duplicates, they can all go back where they were. Or I can take the duplicates out. Pretty sweet though. What do you mean your 452 is pushing it? You can't write with that? With the new nib I gave you? Or it's too small a pen, or why? Or you're afraid to use it? Price sticker. Cost $1. Oh, I see. They're very odd. You know, writing with a pen that's this small that even posted sort of fits inside of your hand. They can be interesting to write with. It just if you sort of get in the right mindset and think that your finger has ink in it, your index finger now is transformed into a pen. You can sort of get in that mindset, and it's kind of fun. I'm just trying to see if there's any other pens in here. I think these are all just pencils. And I think these are all just the pens. So what I'll do is I'll try to put all the sterling. I can easily do that right now. Take all of the sterling ones out. Am I going to count this as sterling or gold? I think I'll call it as sterling. It has oh, look at this pencil got put in there by mistake. Okay, sterling and gold fill. Now there's gold, sort of and there's a yellow gold. There's sort of a reddish gold and a yellow gold. And maybe there's kind of a pinkish gold in here too. So you can see it better by. See if I can do this without breaking it. Come on, undo. See, there's some that are yellower. Fuck. I don't want to chat. I'm trying to. There's some that are yellower and some that are oranger. Often the silver filled are a little bit duller than the sterling. There's just they're more like nickel. So anyway, I've got my work cut out for me. The lighting here might be part of the color issues as well. Okay, I think I'm going to stop before I break my iPad is sort of balancing here. So I think I'm going to stop and drink some coffee and sit down and just decide what I'm going to do. Bye.